Hello and welcome to a new video of Appelboom.com. My name is Appelboom and I would like to tell something in this video about the impressive Montblanc Patron of Art Moctezuma 2020 limited edition pens. As always, if this video helps you, leave us a like, and if you're interested in these beautiful writing instruments, visit our store in Lade or order them online in our web store at Appelboom.com. We will talk later about the box the pen comes in, the features of the pen, the filling mechanism, the nib. We will also do a comparison and give you some specs at the end of the video. But first we start with the history of this limited edition range. The Patron of Art is an homage to the most important patrons of art and culture in the past centuries, those whose personal commitment and achievements deserve wider recognition. Since 1992, these beautiful handcrafted writing instruments have been made available in the spring of every year. The editions, which we will discuss in this video, are limited to 4,810 pieces and in an even more precious limited edition of only 888 pieces. Besides these two editions, there's also an edition limited to only 87 pieces and one of only 8 pieces worldwide. Last year, Montblanc honored Hadrian with a beautiful edition, and for 2020 Montblanc decided to honor Moctezuma I, who was the crowned ruler of the great Aztec Empire in 4041, in the golden age of the Aztecs. These glyphs show how Moctezuma got the crown. Moctezuma died in 1469 and he lost his crown. This is portrayed in this glyph. During his regime, which lasted for nearly 30 years, he shaped the image of the great Aztec state that we are familiar with today. A state rich of culture and mythology. Among the Aztecs' greatest achievements is the double aqueduct pipe system, supplying the city of Tenochtitlan in what is now the center of Mexico City with fresh water. Besides this innovative system, he was also responsible for the construction of many temples, palaces and schools. He hired craftsmen from all over the world to construct his projects. With a population of 200,000 residents, the city was already one of the largest cities in the world at that time. He is also famous for reworking the Mexican calendar and recording Mexican history. Moctezuma himself wore the finest jewels and finely woven cotton clothing. He also donned a headdress with the bright feathers. The 4,810 limited edition comes in a rectangular box in green lacquer. On the top of the box there is a beautiful double-headed serpent in gold and a Montblanc emblem. The double-headed serpent is an Aztec sculpture. It measures 43.3 centimeters in wide and is carved from a single piece of cedar wood. It is decorated with turquoise and shell mosaics. On the front of the box there is a plaque with the name of the pen and the limited edition number on it. On the inside of the box there is a cutout in the black soft velvet where the pen lays in to prevent the pen from getting any scratches. The 888 limited edition comes in a similar box, although this one is square and in burgundy red lacquer. At the top of the box there's also a plaque with the name of the edition and the limited edition number on it. The inside of this box is made of cream velvet instead of black. To protect the beautiful boxes there's a carton sleeve around them with the authenticity, information and warranty booklets inside. The sleeve is printed with multiple symbols of the Aztecs. I already mentioned earlier in the video, but the Patron of Art 2020 is available in the 4,810 limited edition and the 888 limited edition. 4,810 is a number that comes back very often on Montblanc products, for example on the nibs, and is a reference to the height in meters of the highest mountain in Europe, the Mont Blanc. The limited edition of 888 stands for 3 times 8. 8 is the lucky number in China. With 888 you have triple luck. To complete the Patron of Art edition, Montblanc also created a matching ink and notebook. The turquoise color of the ink is inspired by the color of the ancient Aztec fabric. The notebook has gold-cut ruled paper and is made of Italian calfskin leather. The cover is embossed with the double-headed snake again and details of the clothing of Moctezuma. The editions have both an exceptional shape. If the pen is closed, no one will think it is a writing instrument. It is something mysterious, something unique. This design is inspired on the atl. This is a traditional Aztec weapon and the handles are very recognizable. The Aztec atl, or a spear thrower, is an ancient weapon that preceded the bow and arrow in most parts of the world and are one of the humankind's first mechanical inventions. It is essentially a stick with a handle on one end and the hook or socket that engages a light spear on the other. It was mainly made of wood, shell or thread. The motion of the atl makes sure a light spear could be thrown much faster and further than it could be thrown only by hand. Another main feature of both the edition is the extra long cap. It is not the first time Montblanc created a writing instrument with such a large cap. They did a similar job with the Artisan Picasso edition back in 2012. This edition was part of the Artisan collection and was only in reach for a few people with a limited edition number of 98 and 39 pieces worldwide. But now with the Moctezuma, the extended Montblanc cap becomes more affordable. If it is easy in use when writing, I don't know. It looks interesting and cool, yes. To match the oversized cap of the Moctezuma, Montblanc also installed an oversized clip. Of course they had to do that. Just imagine a small clip on this cap. That would be ridiculous. The clip is inspired by the traditional spears and quetzal feather decorations the Aztecs used. The end of the clip has a triangular cut, precious stone on it. For the 4810 edition it comes with a red stone, while the 888 edition has a green jade stone. The red stone is a reference to blood and glory for the Aztecs, while the jade was used by the Aztecs to connect with a higher divine power. This side view of the clip is adorned with an engraving inspired by a feather. A feather was held by the Aztecs as one of nature's most valuable gifts, as birds appear to be very important in their culture. The cone of the fountain pen has a key part in the design of this Patron of Art. The skilled craftsmen of Montblanc in Hamburg overcame numerous of challenges to create the unique dual function mechanism for the cone. First of all, the cone is used to unscrew the cap and make the pen ready to use. But the cone is also needed to fill the pen with ink. To activate the piston mechanism, you have to pull out the cone and turn it back in. Besides the functional part of filling the fountain pen, also a symbolic part. The hammered cone is inspired by an obsidian sacrificial knife, also called Tecpatl. On the 888 edition, the cone is made of sterling silver. The Tecpatl knife was traditionally used for human sacrifice by the Aztecs, but it was also used as a short-range weapon for the warriors. Please note that the cone of Montblanc is only inspired on this weapon and it is not deadly, so please don't use it to stab someone who you see using a big ballpoint pen, please. The cap ring of both the editions are decorated with engravings that symbolizes Aztecs' crown and jewelry. The cap top has an engraving of the Aztec sunstone. The Aztec sunstone is perhaps the most famous work of Aztec sculpture, which was created during the reign of Moctezuma. The stone was discovered on December 17 in 1790 in Mexico City. On the 4810 edition you find the Montblanc emblem in the middle embedded in precious resin, while the 888 edition has a mother of pearl Montblanc emblem. Although the two editions look quite similar, they have a lot of differences. Besides the earlier mentioned Montblanc emblem, which is completely different, the stone on the clip and the different material for the cone, the most eye-catching difference is the cap and barrel. The cap of the 4810 edition has a translucent lacquer with a special pattern inspired by Moctezuma's ceremonial cloak. By using a unique lacquering technique where gouache and lacquer are combined, Montblanc achieved to create a pattern with a three-dimensional effect underneath the lacquer. On the cap there is an engraving of two glyphs representing the first and final years of the reign of Moctezuma I. The symbol with one dot means 4041 and the other symbol stands for 1469. The barrel of the 4810 edition is red lacquered. Together with a turquoise cap, this is a reference to the ceremonial clothing of Moctezuma. The 888 edition has a cap that has a lot more symbols of the Aztec culture featured on it. The traditional ornaments and symbols are showing a skull and Moctezuma's war weapons. The pattern on the cap is inspired by traditional clothing. The more pattern you had on your clothing, the more important the person was. The cap of the 888 edition is crafted from sterling silver and has an opaque lacquer on it. There is a special inlay in the lacquer and casted handle. The barrel on this edition has lacquer over and engraved pattern, which represents the pattern of Moctezuma's royal cloak, which is done very subtle. There are 4 vertical lines on the barrel which are inspired by the 4 cardinal directions and patterns representing the stairs up to Templo Mayor. Also on this edition, the royal colors red and turquoise returns. The handcrafted nibs of the Moctezuma fountain pens are made of 18 karat gold and decorated with a fine engraving of the Aztec glyph for the city of Tenochtitlan, a 3-armed cactus with a royal diadem and 2 scrolls. This was the way of writing in the age of Moctezuma. The nibs of both the 888 and 4810 edition are single tone. Above the engraved symbols, also the number 4810 can be found on the nib and the name Montblanc and the gold marks. The fountain pens come standard with a medium nib, but as an authorized Montblanc dealer we can offer all specialty nibs from extra fine to oblique nibs. The fountain pen uses the piston filling mechanism and can be activated by pulling the cone as shown earlier in the video. The Patron of Art Moctezuma is not surprisingly heavy, mainly because of the oversized cap and the materials used. The 4810 edition weighs 128 grams capped and only 45 grams uncapped, while the 888 edition is a little heavier with 146 grams capped and 45 grams uncapped. It is not possible to post either of these pens. The Patron of Art fountain pens are based on the 146 model. To compare the size of the pens, here you see a lineup with the Montblanc 149, the Montblanc 146, the Montblanc 145, the Montblanc Patron of Art Moctezuma, the Montblanc Rouge et Noir, the Visconti Homo sapiens and the Pelican M1000. Here you see the pens uncapped. This was our overview of the Montblanc Patron of Art Moctezuma limited edition pens. If you're interested in these beautiful pens after watching the video, you're welcome to make your purchase in our web store. Let us know about your experience with Moctezuma heritage and share your thoughts and special moments using a Montblanc in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe.